Let's talk about finding the perfect marketing partner. As a health and wellness business owner, you know how important it is to bring leads into the business. You know how critical marketing is. But when it comes to outsourcing your marketing, how do you ensure that you're making the right choice? We have talked to hundreds of health and wellness business owners, some who have never hired other companies before, and some who've hired many. And for the last group I just mentioned, what I hear all the time is that I was burned by my last marketing partnership. And, while there are some bad marketing companies out there, just like, of course, well, any industry. However, what I often see is that two great companies come to work together, but lose each other in expectations, whether those are spoken or unspoken. So, before we go diving a little bit deeper into this topic, my name is Elia Foshron, and I'm the co-founder of Move, Think, Smile, where we help health and wellness companies make their marketing work. And today, like I said, we're going to talk about finding the perfect match for your marketing partner. So, since wellness companies, especially new ones, don't always have clear expectations, and since they're really in this uninformed optimism stage of the entrepreneurial bell curve, they often end up feeling burned simply because they have unrealistic expectations. So, I really want to talk about expectations. A lot of times what happens is they were either not spoken or they were not fully addressed by the marketing company. And so you end up with people feeling frustrated or feeling like that they got burned. So I really want to talk about the path to finding your right fit. And so we're going to dive into three areas today I really want to dive into, which is what to ask yourself, what to ask the potential company, and what to do if you do feel like you've been burned. So let's start with number one. What should you ask yourself? So, number one, am I clear on my specific marketing goals? So, here, do you want to increase leads? Do you want to run paid ads? Do you want to get clients from your email list? Do you want to boost client retention? Or maybe you need a marketing strategy because you just don't really have any idea where to start or what you should use. The other question you want to ask yourself is how much can you realistically invest in outsourcing your marketing efforts without going into panic? It's really important to know your risk tolerance, especially for those that are just getting started, because marketing, it will pay you back, but it doesn't always happen overnight. It's a lot like the stock market in that it has its ups and downs. And, there can be return for sure, but sometimes that happens over time and can't be seen right away, especially if you're just getting started and you don't have a huge email list, you don't have a warm audience, and it's really tough to get that immediate feedback. So you want to think about what is your timeline because everyone wants immediate results. Of course, we all do, right? But it's important to know how much wiggle room you have for a marketing strategy to give a return. So, this has got to be clearly said and stated to any marketing team so that they can give you honest feedback about whether they think you can hit your timeline goals or not. So, I was just talking to someone the other day. They're getting ready to start their business. They've got like three other jobs, and they're really hoping to shoot to hit about 80,000 a month in their first like 6 months to a year. And so, again, we just had a really in depth conversation about their expectations and what they should expect. And of course, making them and us both be on the same page of how quickly they could look to reach that goal. Now, a popular question is, and I see this a lot, is that, people say, oh, well, how involved? I need to ask myself, how involved do I want to be in the marketing process? Do I want to be hands off or do I want to have collaboration? And to me, this is, in my opinion, the absolute wrong question that you need to be asking yourself. The question needs to be, how can I clear up some space in my calendar so I can be as involved as possible in this marketing process? Because until you know it, until you understand it and can delegate it over the long haul, you are probably going to feel frustrated by marketing companies that you hire because you just don't know how the process works. You don't know what to expect. You have these ideas in your mind of how it should go. And when it doesn't happen that way, you have no frame of reference. So you feel like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. Nobody can do their job. So it's really, really important to make sure that you, at some point in your business journey, that you are extremely involved in your own marketing until you can delegate it and hand it off. The other question you want to ask is, do I have data to share? And if you do, or if you don't, make sure that it is organized and you can clearly present it to a marketing company. So even if you don't have a ton of data, you can let them know you've got maybe zeros across the board. Like you don't have anybody on your email list. You don't really have a marketing strategy yet. You don't have this, you don't have that. But again, letting them know what is not there is equally important as letting people know what is there. So make sure that you are giving a potential marketing company lots of data and be able to have that readily available to share with them. Because the more data you can share with a marketing company, then the better they're going to be able to give you good feedback, and you're going to have really good expectations, the two of you going into the relationship. So that's going to be really, really clear. So let's move on to number 2, what to ask a marketing company. What do you want to ask a marketing company? So let's look at some of the basics that are the most important. And if you're not asking these, definitely add this to your roster of questions that you'll be asking next time you have a conversation with a potential marketing company. So, do you have experience working with health and wellness businesses? That's really important. Look for a company that really understands the unique challenges and the opportunities in your industry. And that's really important because sometimes we talk to people that have hired people that have all types of clients in all different spaces. And again, I think it's really important that you have somebody that really understands your industry. Also, you want to be really clear on what services that they offer. So again, making sure that you understand, it's like, okay, what specific support do you need, which you're going to bring to the table because of the questions above, but then also really getting clear on what they offer, because they may offer some stuff that you've actually not thought about that maybe you need, that you actually really need. So, but a word of warning here. A lot of people that I talk to think, well, why don't I just hire someone that will do my ads? Like, why don't I just hire somebody? Like, why would I hire you guys, for example, with us, where we really dive into the structure of the business, the messaging that's happening around the brand and the business, the marketing strategy, and then the sales process. And we do that because we want to see that all the parts and pieces are working together. And so one of the biggest things that I see when people hire a company just to kind of offshoot one little task and they really don't get involved with the nuances of the company, well, then there's a lot of disconnects, and disconnects are really frustrating. And that's where expectations usually start getting, crushed. So it's a really important thing to think about. Now, the other question they want to ask is, how will we measure success? So a marketing company really should help you create clear metrics and, set up a reporting process. So even if they don't have something specifically, they may create that with you along the way so that everybody knows, how are we going to know this relationship was successful? And then ask them what their client onboarding and communication process looks like. You want to know how quickly you can get your questions answered. This is something that I hear a lot where people say, oh, I would submit questions or ask questions. It took forever. I didn't get my question answered and I had to wait another week. And so really make sure it's like, if you need quick, immediate feedback, find out what their timeline is for feedback so that you can, of course, have those clear expectations. You want somebody who's really responsive and proactive, because marketing is something that moves pretty quickly. So you really want to have that quick feedback. And then, of course, you want to understand their pricing structures and the contract terms. I know that might seem obvious, but sometimes, we forget some of the obvious things. So make sure you understand exactly what you're paying for. And by asking these types of questions, it's going to really help you evaluate your options, and you're going to be on your way to finding a marketing partner that really fits your business. So take time to do some research, trust your instincts, and don't be afraid to ask those tough questions. We always really appreciate it when people ask us tough questions, because it really shows us that they are thinking and making, like, kind of doing their due diligence. And that also really supports us in knowing that, hey, we've picked a client that we feel like we're going to also really be able to get results for, because they are really being thoughtful about this process. And we love that. Because look, when you find the right partner, it can be a game changer for your health and wellness business. It really can be. When we've, made the right pick for business mentors and other marketing things that we've hired out for our own company, and we've made the right pick, it's been an incredible result when we take that time to make sure it's a good fit. There's a saying that's called hire slow, fire fast. And in some ways, it's okay to take your time in finding the marketing company that is the right fit for you for whatever task you have. Then, of course, if it's not working out, to, of course, end things fairly quickly so you can move on. So, what to do if you've been burned? Let's talk about this one, because honestly, this is the thing we hear the most. And so it really, I always really like to tackle this one because I hate for people to feel like they were burned, but also a lot of times people will start to come with the sort of like this victimized mentality, and that doesn't do you any good in business. So, number one, if you ever, been feeling burned about a marketing partnership that you had, I want you to get honest with yourself, and I want you to ask, how could I have prevented this outcome? What could I have done better to ensure the success? What should I have communicated to the marketing company to make sure we were going to get the results that I wanted? The other thing I want you to do is to talk to the marketing company and tell them specifically, don't just tell them that, they're terrible. Tell them specifically where they dropped the ball and give them the chance to make it right. Because a lot of companies will make it right if you communicate with them exactly and specifically what was wrong. When you don't communicate that and you just walk away and don't say anything and then badmouth other companies, then it's not going to do you any good or the company any good. And that's not what we want, because my goal and our goal is to help companies grow. And I love feedback from our customers and clients because it helps us just become better and better and better. And then, of course, if you're feeling really jaded and burned, give yourself a moment to vent in an appropriate way, right? Get that out. Obviously, you might just need to like vent with a friend and talk about how terrible they were. But then you really want to use every setback that you have, or every difficult relationship you might have in growing your business, turn it into a springboard for success. Because not every company we've hired along the way has absolutely wowed us, but we've used every single purchase that we've made, every single investment that we've made into our company stronger because of the lessons that we've learned, and we've learned them quickly. Lingering in that burned feeling is only going to delay your success. And sometimes I get the inkling that we will, because I have been there to hide behind that feeling of being burned and use that as a reason to not put yourself out there again. So you want to move on quickly and focus on what needs to happen next. And then the other thing is, you really need to understand that every business, including yours, is paying a debt. And what I mean by that is, it is the debt of what challenges are coming but are unknown to your business and or the marketing company. Because, of course, nothing is guaranteed in life. It's the debt of lack of skill set. So you may not have a super strong skill set in this, which is why you're hiring someone in the first place. Or it could even be a strength you need in communication, and could be a strength that the company needs in communication. So it's really the debt of learning, and every business is in this debt, and they are learning and growing all along the way. So if you felt burned, then trust that when you make your next hire, you're going to do things differently to make sure that you don't get the same outcome and instead get a successful one. And that is honestly something that you can be really happy about. And it's something that I've taken with every experience with any company we've ever hired to help with Move Think Smile. So in the end, finding the right marketing partner is really all about that clarity, the communication, and the trust that you want to build with another company. And by taking the time to understand your own needs and asking some of these questions and really being open to learning from your past experiences, you're going to be well equipped to make the best decision for your health and wellness business moving forward. So remember, even if you've been burned, don't let that hold you back from investing in your marketing and taking your business to the next level. Because look, it's not going to be the first time that you're disappointed in something. Business is full of ups and downs, wins, disappointments, screw ups, and big wins. It's just a part of the process. So the perfect marketing company is out there. That partner that you want to create is out there, whether it's us or somebody else. You just need to get out there and start asking questions, and don't hide behind, again, these bad experiences or feeling like you don't know anything about marketing. Start that process sooner than later. And of course, if you found this helpful, if you found this this video, or maybe even too, if you've seen this in your email, if you find it helpful, then forward it to another health and wellness expert and business owner who might be struggling with their marketing and trying to figure out how to how to find that right fit, because really it's together. It's really making this process work together and sharing and all of the learning and really, trying to make those connections strong. That's how we're going to really elevate this industry and make a bigger impact on the world and really helping tip the scales from sickness to wellness. So get out there, keep moving forward in your marketing, keep learning, keep asking questions. And we'd love to hear from you on what you think are some of the most powerful things or powerful questions that you want to be asking yourself or asking marketing companies. Go ahead and share that below. And I'll see you in the next training.